Hey everyone, Finn here with SDGC Live at PAX East with the man behind the upcoming game Gigasword. Hello sir, tell us who you are and what it is you do.
So my name is Jack, and I am the sole developer for Gigasword, which is an action puzzle Metroidvania in which you wield a massive sword that weighs you down. So the way it works is you can stick the sword in the ground anywhere at any time, and that allows you to jump higher because you don't weigh as much anymore. And there are also all these different contraptions in the world that the sword can interact with. So yeah, there's a big focus on like puzzle solving. It's very Zelda inspired. There's a balance between puzzles and combat.
Well, I mean, it's very unique because, especially in the indie sphere, like pixel art Metroidvanias are the most uncommon genre. But what you've done is this, just the mechanic of the sword and how it interacts with the world sets it apart, because when you're walking with the sword, it's the only way you can attack an enemy, but you also move way slower. Your dodge roll is small. You can't jump, you can't swim. So you have to like be vulnerable to interact with the world, and it's a fascinating mechanic.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was very inspired by games like the original Blaster Master, where like you've got this tank, but you've got to get out of the tank at times. So like that kind of purposeful vulnerability is what I was going for, and I'm glad that it comes across in the demo.
Oh, it does. And the puzzles are like, at least in the earlier chapters, because you know the demo, but you feel it ramps up. Like the mechanics layer themselves on top of each other, which I assume is by design.
Yeah, yeah, and as you go, every area that you get to will introduce new mechanics, and then as you go further into the game, those mechanics are, again, like you said, they're layering on top of each other, they're combining. So my goal has been that, you know, there's always going to be something new for the player to find, you know, that these mechanics won't get stale because there's just new contraptions being introduced at every area.
So are you a solo dev?
Yeah, it's all me. I do everything. Yeah.
And how long have you been at it?
I started this in 2019.
Nice.
And then my publisher, Acupara, they came on board last year.
With Acupara?
Yeah.
Very nice, okay. Hey, congratulations, that's
Thank
a big
you so
deal.
much. Yeah, it's been a wild ride, but you know, making a game like this has been my dream since I was a kid, so it's been great, it's been worth it.
And where are we at production-wise? Like what percentage?
The goal is to have it out by the end of this year. We're pretty
Fantastic,
close.
that's
pretty
awesome.
Close to done, yeah.
I mean, the reception here, even when I was playing, I was listening to other people. Like it's high.
Yeah,
because again,
people really seem to latch onto it, which I've always been really thankful for. They see the big sword and that draws them in, and then you know they stay for the kind of Zelda
fact that
feel
it's good.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but because again, like the genre is around a lot, but it endures for a reason, and having a unique mechanic on top of that just brings it up.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the Metroidvania, especially in the indie scene, the Metroidvania genre has been kind of oversaturated for a while, and my goal was just like, you know, how can I love making like Zelda puzzle games, stuff like that. You know, I'm a big fan of like the older Tomb Raider games as well, where you're just like in these big spaces and it's kind of directionless. You just have to like figure out what the environment is trying to tell you. And so that was the goal for this, was like I want to make kind of a slower paced, exploration based Metroidvania where you kind of just have to figure it out for yourself.
Yeah. Like, because there is combat, but it's never really the focus.
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
it is there and it's fun, but you can definitely tell the core mechanics are more based around the exploration and the traversal.
For sure, yeah. In the same vein as Zelda, it's like then even when you get to the boss fights will usually incorporate the mechanic from like the area itself, or it'll incorporate whatever item that you got in that area. So yeah, there's definitely a focus on. You always have to use your brain, no matter what situation you're in.
And where are you based out of?
I'm based around here, I'm around Boston.
Oh, that makes it a lot easier to be at PAX East.
Yeah, it's great, yeah.
That's awesome. So how, have you been at previous PAXs? Because this is the first time I've encountered your game.
I've been as a consumer. I actually brought a very early version of this game to PAX East 2020. I was only here on Sunday, so only the OG fans remember that. But since then, I
way to call me out.
So.
Jeez.
So since then, I just worked on the game, and I ran a Kickstarter campaign in 2022, and so this is the first time that I'm back with Gigasword.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations. Tell people where they can find you and follow the progress of the game.
Yeah, so if you go on the Acupara website, you can find Gigasword on there. You can also find my personal YouTube channel at Hybrid Plays on YouTube. Studio Hybrid is like the studio name, so if you find Studio Hybrid on anywhere, I'm on Instagram, Twitter. I try to post on Twitter pretty frequently, so anybody that wants to stay updated, if you find me over there, especially YouTube and Twitter, that's where I'm at.
All right. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us because your line is busy. But I have one last question to ask you. It's the most important one.
Yep.
So I apologize in advance for how difficult this will be to answer.
Let's do it.
In your heart of hearts, if you have to choose, cake or pie?
I mean, apple pie, like, I'm always in the mood for. Cake is like, do you want something that's like sugary and indulgent? And sometimes you're just like, I feel like if I'm full, I'm like, no, I don't want cake. But even if I'm full, I will eat apple pie.
So that's why Gigasword's great, because you're a man of tastes. So thank you
appreciate
very
that.
much for taking the time.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy
for
the rest
interview.
of your PAX.
Thank you so much.